Hi, my name is Aditya Yadav, and in the last more than 2 decades, I've been working in the industry in a corporate job. I have realized a few things about the world of business applications, and which is the topic of the presentation today. And so there is a category of applications in corporation which are purely business applications, and these are in a very derogatory way also called as packageware. But that is not what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on the more positive side of things. So after working for a long time in a corporate job, I started a boutique of my own called Way Beyond Development, and we are into software product development, consulting, and and a couple of more things like training, coaching, mentoring, etc., etc. So let me show you what is PackMen. Now I'm going to have a demo for you at the end, so I'm going to skip the slide, which is blank right now. But before I go ahead with PackMen, which is a play on the word package men, um, I'll tell you a story. One of the hottest SaaS startups today, we don't realize, actually started out by building a database engine that was internet scale and was runtime dynamically reconfigurable. You could reconfigure the schema and without bringing it down, without making it inconsistent, it would still function in a very single system way, image way. And they did try to sell it as a service separately, but I don't think that was very successful. But I'm not here to comment on that. They also created a very flexible UI engine with similar attributes. It was internet scale, it was flexible, dynamically reconfigurable, user reconfigurable using drag and drop metaphor, and which they also tried to sell as a service, but without much success. But again, I'm not here to comment on that. This SaaS startup, which built a sales solution based on these two basic foundations, is one of the topmost companies in the world today, and literally everybody on the planet uses their solution to their credit. Now, what if we could create a tool like that for the enterprise, which in a sense was something similar on similar lines, a very flexible database engine which is internet scale, reconfigurable dynamically, and a flexible UI, reconfigurable, user reconfigurable, and then we could build all sorts of business apps on top of it. The concept is not new, and it is not that the SaaS startup in I am mentioning was the first one to come up with this concept, but it is more than a 30-40 year old concept when people started making CRUD apps. CRUD stands for create, read, update, delete, which are basic operations on what you do on a piece of data. Now, who are we? We are people with 10 to 20 plus and beyond years of software engineering experience in global agile technology consulting, advisory, delivery, and we have more than 10 to 15 years of experience each. Uh, Even before, since agile and tech was in infancy, the kind of modern technology we see today, we started pretty early. The first computers we worked on were Atari and ZX Spectrum, and we went from basic to C, C++, and then assembly, and then we began our journey as a technologist to higher level languages, all sorts of functional languages, procedural, object-oriented languages, tool stacks, tool chains, um, working in globally distributed global and fortune companies. For example, BCG, McKinsey, Fidelity, Tesco, Goldman Sachs as consultants. Long 3 to 5 year projects, over 200 people, globally distributed teams, sometimes across 4 or 5 locations. There is nothing in the world of technology that really scares us. We have ridden each and every technology wave that has come about in the last more than 2 decades. Whether it's J2E, .NET or RUP or Six Sigma, mobile, cloud, big data, data science, and whatever you can think of, we have ridden that wave. Uh, Even double-digit multi-billion-dollar US projects don't scare us, and even if we are a 5 people team or a 10 people team or a 20 people team, we've done plenty of those. And each one of us has worked with more than 300 plus technologies at a time, And we are authors, speakers, coaches, mentors, scientists, engineers, technologists, business folks with marketing, sales, HR, finance, etc. experience. We are generalists, and we always start with the first principles, and we actually do believe that we end up, by starting with first principles, we end up delivering superior value for your organization and our clients. Now, what is PackMen? If you see the SaaS startup I was mentioning, whether it's the internet scale database backend, which is reconfigurable, or the UI, internet scale UI, which is reconfigurable, user reconfigurable, everything starts with a meta schema, and that's where PackMen starts. It starts with a meta schema. You operate on the on a higher level of a schema, which can be managed, and we actually operate on schemas which forms the basis of applications which then get dynamically rendered, generated and rendered. You can define the UI, the database schema, and everything in JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and voila, you have an app in minutes. Now, this is actually can be a lot of fun if I tell you what it means. To see how this a software tool like PackMen would add value to your organization, you have to understand a specific category of applications in an organization which are used across every company across the globe. Whether you're talking about an enterprise relationship planning software used by them or a financial application, there are three parts to that business application. The first part is CRUD, which is the operations that you do on pieces of data, where data is of various types: integers, strings, floating, currency, money, geolocation, etc., etc. The common operations are create, read, update, delete, etc. Then all business applications, in our opinion, need one of the strongest analytics backing them up, probably available in the world. If the world of data science has a new meaning if you can understand how it should be utilized in business applications, and this is one way. So we say analytics is essential, superior analytics is essential, especially in business applications. If you have a trading desk, probably not, but you have a business application, definitely. And then on top of that, these business applications also have some niche value-added custom features. For example, they might calculate the risk of a portfolio. Ideally what you would do is you would CRUD some data and enter values that would represent your portfolio. And you can do analytics on top of that. How your portfolio is changing over time, etc., etc. But the custom feature would be in calculating the sigma, the standard deviation of risk, which represents risk in one representation of risk, and that would be a custom feature. So if you break up a business application into these three parts, you would realize that PackMen delivers the first two in pure breed mode, and the third one, value-added custom features, in a hybrid mode where you can develop business applications. Now, coming back to the point, everything can be changed on the fly. Everything is dynamically reconfigurable. There is nothing that requires a restart or anything. In a sense, the way things should be. And nothing needs to be fixed or hard-coded or brought down, restarted. And everything happens in seconds. You change a definition and the application is ready. And the APIs are all basically JSON REST based. Now, PackMen is suitable for both enterprise and cloud deployment scenarios. It is not yet multi-tenant, but we are using the KISS principle, which is basically keep it simple, silly. So we have designed it so that it can be namespaced very easily later. But right now, we haven't namespaced it. It has a fully functional internet scale ACID database backend, which again is reconfigurable, etc., etc. And a fully reconfigurable internet scale UI frontend. And now you can think of 1 million plus concurrent users. There is nothing that is stopping your app organization from even creating something that some of those SaaS vendors are very proud of. Now, the way we work is we are a very disciplined engineering organization, and our software supports infrastructure automation. The internet scale database backend is designed for integration, APIs, ETL, diff and merging at the level of data, and multi-site disaster recovery, etc., etc. So, the common problems with ETL, you're transforming data, this, that, etc., and figuring out how to do a diff and merge. These would all go away because all these things are designed inherently into the backend. And analytics and dashboards supported through Tableau R or most of the data science packages. Basically, that's an understatement. You make your pick a choice and take your pick. We have another adjunct tool called Streamer, which is integrated. PackMen is integrated with Streamer, and Streamer supports literally any analytics, big data, or cloud tool that is available in the market today. So basically, your analytics are all covered. So what happens is that when you have an application that is evolving over time, which state is evolving over time, you at any point in time you can do current analytics. But using Streamer, we are using tools that actually keep a track of data as it is evolving in a time series in a streaming fashion. So you can do real-time analytics, you can do historical analytics, along with analytics which are point-in-time analytics that people normally do. So with this, I'd like to go ahead with the demo, and let me log in here. So yes, there will be two parts to the application, and it's got full authentication authorization and two parts to the application. One is basically the admin mode and one is the user mode. So I logged in as administrator, and you can see I have the home, which represents the user mode, and I have the admin, which represents the admin mode. So you can basically go to this tab called applications, and you can see I have created a demo application, and if I select it in the section below, you can see that I'm basically defining the meta schema here. So I have one table defined, which is my demo table, and so on, and columns and data types and everything, and this is ready to use. So in the applications, let me try showing you how do I create a new application. I say edit new, my second application, and I say create new, and my second application is ready to be used. Now once the second application is selected, I don't have any tables in it, so I say edit new, and the table I want is my table, and so we've stayed away from the drag and drop metaphor because we weren't very sure what intellectual property exists and if we will be violating any by creating a drag and drop metaphor for our applications. We kept it very simple, and once you have the table, let me just define one column, and I'll just call it name. I'll keep it very simple, but you would get the point. So I've created one column name, and ID and GUID are basic built-in columns. So once I do this, I go to the home page, and I see my second application is now ready, and it can be basically CRUDed right now. So I can edit new, and I can say Aditya, edit new, Alicia, and all the filters are probably not probably, are actually functional. So you can actually do filtering, sorting, etc., etc. Basically the full bandwagon of crud, jargon and metaphors that you are already aware of. And so I'll so if the filtering works, I can clear the filter, I can refresh the grid, and so on and so forth. And I can delete Anshuman's record entry. I can update Renu to uh, Mrs. Renu, and it's all I'll just close this and open it again so that you know that it is coming from the database. It is actually coming from the database. So we haven't mocked anything for you. Now I have what is this is the earlier thing that I had configured because it requires a slightly longer configuration, which actually takes just a couple of minutes. But anyway, so I want to create a new record, and remember, relational databases are about referential integrity, and so I have a reference column here. I click it, and this is just some dummy table I'm showing, and I'm going to reference into that. And this is a pick list, and I click on something, and the GUID of that gets updated here. And I have a pick list. I like oranges, and I have a multiple pick list, and so what the essential things about CRUD are that you need validation, you need data types, you need visual appearances that you should be able to change, you need pick lists, you need multi-selects, you need referential features, and basically displaying master detail, etc., etc. In the admin screen, you've seen how a master detail is shown, and which can also be shown in the real application. So that's all we had for today. And before we leave, we'd like to tell you that a business application which is used by millions of organizations around the globe is basically of three parts, which is cutting edge analytics, which PackMen supports through Streamer, basic CRUD on data, which a pure breed PackMen inherent application supports, and some niche custom value added features which PackMen supports in hybrid development mode, where you can create a custom screen and custom piece of logic, etc. That's all we had for today. We hope you will find PackMen very useful. We look forward to talking to you. Get in touch with us, give us a shout, and we'd love to discuss this further, and hope we add value to your organizations and help you succeed better. Thank you very much.